Even if you're right about the age at which boys are accessing pornography perhaps once or twice before the age of 13, I think you just said there, it isn't happening in a vacuum, is it? Because there are a new generation of parents by the same token who one would hope are actually teaching their boys to treat girls with respect and vice versa, teaching their girls that they shouldn't take disrespect from boys.
Well, one would hope so, but I have to tell you, and I lecture to parents groups all across the country, is most parents I meet do not know what their kids are accessing. They do not know what pornography is because they're older, they were not brought up with this kind of image-based internet culture, and they are shocked to see what pornography is. And I can't tell you again how many emails I get from parents who accidentally stumbled across their teenagers' internet sites, and what they found was hardcore pornography. So I don't think parents are equipped. And you know what's really important here? Parents are not the only people who bring up a child. A culture brings up a child, and our culture is now toxic. And thanks to the pornographers, what parents have to do is try and keep the culture outside of the house. But this is counterintuitive to parenting, and I think that the culture is making it harder to be a parent, and I don't blame parents for this. I think they're overwhelmed by it.
Regardless of how hard it is to be a parent, it's still a choice to be a parent. I personally am going to say I don't want to be a parent. I don't want to have kids. I don't think that that's what I'm cut out for. But, anyway, Gail, it's still a world for adults. I mean, we don't need to censor things just because of children. We need to stop children. Maybe the parents need to stop the children still. And I don't see why you say this culture is toxic. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of shit I don't like in it. Okay, there's people like you. Let's see, what else is there in here? Well, there's a lot of shitty music if you ask me seriously, but yeah, I don't know if this culture is just toxic. I mean, if people want to look at porn, so be it. You know, that's their own business. And I mean, one thing I had about the host, or whatever that he said wrong, is that, you know, parents should teach their boys to respect. You know, fuck that, you know. I think that parents need to teach their children how to deal with the opposite sex, yeah. I don't have a sister, personally, but yeah, if a girl was giving me shit, my parents would try to defend me on it. You know? I had that happen, you know? I'm their son. I mean, this girl over here is not their daughter. My parents don't have a daughter, okay? So they're not concerned about her. They're concerned about me. I'm their son. She could be a crack addict for all they care. Well, you get the point, you know? They care about me, you know? I'm their child. And it almost seemed like to me, he was saying that parents should put parents of boys, should I say, should put the girl before their own son. Now, I find that almost just sickening. I don't know if that's what he's saying. I don't want to sound like Gail and make up some bullshit conspiracies. But, you know, I'm saying it would be good to teach children about the opposite sex, yeah. I can say it's something I might even have trouble with. Most people do, you know. But what Gail had to say here was just, and the host were just kind of out there.
What about the young women? And you say this yourself. Some of them come to you and argue they support porn because they see it as a form of female empowerment.
I know, this is the most interesting argument, and often the pornography they're talking about, well, mostly is not the gonzo pornography, because women tend to look at a different type of pornography. But this is
what type of... Let me interrupt you there. What type of pornography do women look at, typically?
Generally, what's called feature pornography, which is kind of not as body punishing. It's got some attempt at a storyline, some attempt at mimicking a Hollywood movie. Also, there's some pornography made by some women pornographers, which is kind of a bit softer, not as hardcore, not as brutal, not as in your face. The studies show, according to the porn industry, that gonzo is reserved mainly for the men.
Okay, good. Gail recognizes that women can enjoy porn too. Now, the thing she fails to realize is, of course, it's not gonzo. It's you could call it hardcore or BDSM or, well, that's more bondage or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, what Gail is getting at here is that men don't enjoy soft and women don't enjoy harder. That is totally not true. There are plenty of men who enjoy softer levels of pornography and do not, or maybe lesbian porn. Hell, I mean, there are lots of female porn directors that even men watch their movies, okay? Because, I mean, hell, it's a lot of lesbian porn, just whatever. It's what they're into. What's harder, it's just whatever. I mean, you know, what Gail's saying is just extremely stereotypical and lumping men like this and women like that. No, there are women who like much harder stuff than some men, and there's some men who like much harder stuff than women.
What these women tell me about how it's empowering is, I think, speaks to the success of the porn industry in hijacking the debate, the discussion about sexuality. They have argued that to be hot, to be cool, to be part of our sexual revolution, you need to embrace pornography. And what I would argue, and what feminists argue, is that pornography is a particular type of representation of sex. It is based on the debasement of women.
Whoa. You said pornography is based on the debasement of women. Well, how come we have gay porn? How come we have lesbian porn? Well, yeah, there's women. There's types of porn that men do these things to other men, and how is that degrading of women? It can't be, because there are no women involved whatsoever unless they're in the audience. And how is that debasing them? If anything, by your argument, you'd be saying they're debasing the men. So this argument is just void, basically. It's stupid. It's just watching people having sex. It's something to get sexually aroused by. By saying all pornography is degrading of women is just jaw-droppingly stupid. I mean, hell, I could say sex is debasing to women if you're Gail, because she's just so out there. Okay, that was the end of the clip, really. By the way, I just want to say there was a little bit more. It just sort of got cut off, and I don't really want to fuck with it. So if you want to look at it, feel free. I didn't have anything else to say, really, about trying to take it out of context, but you know, it's if I do play the rest of it, it'll sound sort of like I do, but the clip sort of, Gail got cut off mid-sentence. They did talk about having a filter in Australia, and I think that's bad. The government, the internet does not need to be censored. The only thing that needs to be censored is child pornography, of course. I'm not at all in opposition to that, but to censor adults is just stupid. Censorship is for children. Adults should have rights of free speech. And that was actually a point brought up by the host, I wanted to say. It wasn't brought up by Gail herself, but it's just the jaw-dropping level of stupidity that this woman brings to the table is amazing. Like, you can clearly see how she's at least as dumb as Kent fucking Hovind. Okay? Just whatever. I mean, don't be fooled by Gail. I mean, there's a lot of shit out here like Gail, and these people don't back up their points, and quite frankly, I don't think she even really cares about men. And she doesn't even understand that women view pornography either. So all I've got to say is, fuck you, Gail. You are possibly the dumbest feminist I've ever heard, and trust me, there are some feminists out there I have some shit to agree with. But as for you, Gail, you're just so naive. I mean, this is just I hear these arguments over and over and over, and they're just so poorly informed.